Hello, this is Lance Cleveland, author of the Store Locator Plus plugin for WordPress. I'm going to go over some settings for store pages that will help you get the most out of the Pages plugin and get you started. I'm also going to show you version 4.4.02 of Store Pages. It will require Store Locator Plus 4.4.22, that's 22, of Store Locator Plus, because those later versions of Store Locator Plus are implementing what's called REST services for the back end, and a lot of the new add-ons and plugins will be using those to get some of the advanced features. So let me get started by showing you default page. Now this is on my test site, and you can see here in the URL I've got a nice URL that is going to be SEO friendly, and my page content here. And this page content is created dynamically. So if someone edits the title or the address of this location, then this particular location, the content will change dynamically when the next person comes to the page. And all this is the default setup for the product. And if you look at the type of page that's created, this is all the code here. You see there's really very little static text. You could of course edit this for this page and it will save it with that static text. Just leave these shortcodes intact to keep the dynamic field data from your locations in place. Now, in order to get this to work most seamlessly on most sites, you're going to want to go to the Store Locator Plus Pages tab, and you're going to want to change the default page status from draft to published. It's set to draft because we don't want people creating 1,000 pages on their website that are suddenly out in the public and not have them be aware of it. So we want this to be a conscious decision to turn this content on by making it published. Now on my site, I prefer to have pages replace websites. That is underneath the map. I'll show you that in a moment where the website link appears. I want it to go to my website pages, not to the target customer or location website page. And I also don't want it to pop up a new window. I just want it to bring the people on my site to that. Also, the permanent link starts with, that was that part of the URL that came before the location name. You can change this to be anything you want. If you have doctor's offices or stores or coffee shops, you can change that text. If you change that text, your next step after saving your changes is to go to Settings and go to Permalinks in WordPress. And even if this is set to a nice text format, one of these up here, versus these numeric formats, you're going to want to, even if you leave this set to post name, you're going to want to leave that there and hit Save Changes. That forces WordPress to reread all the permanent link data. So once you've done that, you've set your store pages set up, you're going to want to go to Locations, and you're always going to want to create your initial page templates from here using the Create Pages command through bulk actions, or click on this link here to create a page or recreate a page. That creates a linkage between this location data, the dynamic data, and the actual pages that are created here. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell it to create all these pages for me. It will just recreate them if they already exist. And if I scroll over here, I can see that the pages URLs now are intact. Now at this point, all these pages will be created here and will be published. You can see none of mine are in draft mode now. That means these are available to the general public. So I will show you here on the site now how this comes about. This is the locator page, and here's all the locations, and all of these locations now have websites, and these links go directly to the page on my site. And you can see there's my nice URL here, SEO friendly URL. So that is how you get that set up, and you can see with version 4.4.02 you get your map down here of that single location and all the rest of your location data. Another thing that was resolved in version 4.4.02 of Store Pages is the listing of custom pages through this category URL. So this lists everything in this custom taxonomy for this particular post type. It's called a store post type. And by just going to this URL, I get a list of all the locations that are in the system. Now your WordPress theme may limit how many of these locations appear. That is part of your WordPress theme or WordPress itself. You can change those settings in some themes, others you cannot, on how many locations are returned. I believe by default 2012 will return the first 10 or 12 locations on the list. And you can see here with version 4.4.02 the title of this location, which would bring you to that individual store page, just like a blog post. This is sort of like your list of most recent blog posts. And all this data is pulled dynamically, including the map. And one of the things that was fixed is not only that this data now is pulling correctly for second, third, fourth location on the list, but we can also have multiple maps on the same page. So this is just a standard WordPress list of locations, and if I wanted to add this to my site, I can go under the menus here, and I'm going to add a custom link. I'm going to say list of locations, add it to my menu. List of locations will be here. Got duplicates here, so I'll just remove this one from earlier testing and create that menu, make it take over the primary space. And now if I go to my main site, you can see this is my standard locations map search interface, and this list of locations will bring up the list of all the stores that are on my site, and it gives users an easy way to get to that. So that's an intro to some of the more advanced features of Store Pages 4.4.02 in Store Locator Plus. Thank you for supporting Store Locator Plus, and thank you for watching.